Hello, welcome back to the 10 Tiny Toes Yoga YouTube channel. My name is Caroline. If you are new to this channel, please click subscribe. And if you're back, welcome. We're glad to see you again. So we're gonna get started right away into a full prenatal yoga class. This is going to be, of course, safe for all trimesters, but particularly good for you mamas who are having any issues with sciatic or hip issues. So we're really going to get into those areas tonight. So grab a mat, put on some stretchy pants, and let's get flowing. All right, mamas, so we are going to get started just with a comfortable Sukhasana easy seat down on our blanket. If you don't have a blanket, remember you can always use a folded up towel or anything that's just going to elevate your hips and give you a little bit more cushioning. So coming onto your blanket, bringing your hips to the edge so you felt this tilt of your hips. Take your feet to whatever is a comfortable position. You can butterfly, you can leave them out. I just have mine in a little cross-legged position, but try not to cross on your ankles, just taking it easy on those. So we're gonna begin like we begin all of our classes, just getting into the mind, into the meditative aspects of our yoga class. So let's close our eyes, start to calm your mind down. Let go of your day, let go of your agenda, and just start to experience and to feel your body right now. So maybe wiggle from side to side, allowing those fleshy bits to come out from underneath your sits bones so you can root on down. Maybe rub your quads, just bringing in a little bit of warmth, starting to bring that love to your body that your body needs. And then starting to stack your vertebrae up one by one, circling your shoulders forward, up, and back, pulling them down. Feel your neck grow tall. Lift your chin proudly. And with your eyes closed, we're going to start to get in connection with our breath. So taking a deep inhale in through your nose, feel that cool air come down through your nasal passage, down the back of your throat. Now open up your mouth and sigh that breath out. Feel your shoulders release, sag on down. Let's do that again. Inhale in deeply through your nose. Open mouth. One more time, just like that. Inhaling in through your nose. Feel the air come in. Start to pull it deeper into your lungs. Take another sip of air. And then exhale. Sigh that breath out. Now lick your lips, close your mouth, and let's start to breathe in and out just through our nose. So it's going to make a snoring sound, and I'll do a couple of the first ones with you here. So breathing in deeply in through your nose. And then exhaling through your nose. Inhale it in. Exhale. So keep going with that breath. In yoga, we call this your Ujjayi breath. It's a powerful, victorious breath, but it is particularly a helpful one in our prenatal classes because it helps you to monitor your exertion rate. You always want to be able to slow your breath down and to take these long and comfortable breaths. So take one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, on your baby, continuing your breath for 3 more breaths. With each inhale, I want you to connect with your baby. Feel that inhale come in. Feel that oxygen come into your blood. And with each exhale, just give your baby a little rub, rubbing that belly, connecting, thinking of the eyes, that nose, and those 10 tiny toes. 2 more breaths here. Committing yourself to this practice, to this time, to this space. On that last breath, feeling that hand rise on your heart. And as you exhale that last breath, feel your belly come in tight. And then releasing your hands, fluttering your eyes open, releasing your arms down by your side. On an inhale, fingers spread out wide, arms shooting out. Inhale, circle your arms up. Maybe you can follow your fingertips with your gaze. Hands are going to meet in prayer, and exhale, pulling down through your midline. 2 more just like that. Inhale, sweep them around and up. Really feeling that opening through your shoulder blades. Exhale, down through that midline. I'm pushing my hands together, really activating my shoulders. Inhale and open. Exhale, release. On this next one, inhale, circle your arms around and up. And then taking your left arm down, tenting your fingers up on the mat, lean a little bit over to the left side, finding space in that side body, dropping that left shoulder away from your ear. Inhale, pushing yourself up, bringing both arms up ahead of you. And let's go to the opposite side. Right arm drops, resting on your fingertips. Lean over, finding that space. Make sure you're not bending, but rather like pulling up to the side corner. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. And as you exhale, once again, you're circling them down and around behind you, and you're going to interlace your fingers behind your back, making a fist. Note which thumb you have on top. And then pull the heels of your palms together, letting your shoulders rotate open. You can rest your fist on the mat behind you. And on an inhale, lift your throat up to the sky. We're not falling back. We're just stretching our throats out. And then exhale, dropping your chin into your chest, releasing the grip on your hands. Your hands come out in front of you, and you can just sway from side to side a bit. And then we're going to do that again, but I want you to switch out the foot that you had in front if you did have your legs crossed. If you're in butterfly, you can remain just as you are. But if you find that you need a new position with your feet, we're just going to work that other hip as well. Almost all of the same stretches, just a little bit different one. So here we go. Inhaling our arms around and up. Exhale, left arm comes down, leaning over to the left side, feeling that stretch in your right side body. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, coming over to the right, leaning out and over. One more time. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Exhale, taking them behind you, putting the other thumb on top. If you can remember, it's going to be your awkward grip. Once again, bringing that fist down to the mat behind you, lifting your throat up to the sky. Take a breath in here. Drop your chin into your chest. Inhale, circling both arms up to the sky. We're going to twist to the left. So taking your right arm across your body. And with this left arm, do 2 circles. So we're really opening up this shoulder. One more circle with that left arm. And then bringing both arms back up through your midline, twisting to the right. So your left arm comes across, and then sweeping your right arm forward and then back. Just opening up those shoulders one more time. Perfect. And then we're going to come and go into some pelvic circles. So for those, start to walk your feet out, coming into that butterfly position. Again, if this is too much for you, you can still keep those feet crossed. But if you're able to open up your pelvis a little bit more, sliding your hands down your calf muscles, getting a grip somewhere. It can be down at your feet if you have that range of motion. It can be up closer to your knee joints. Just don't grab your knees. And starting to make little circles with your body, just opening up that low spine, circling forward. A lot of the times, baby's going to get in the way and say, nope. So Work with what you got. And then reverse, going back the other way. And just imagine all those little muscles around your inner thigh, your low back. You're just opening them up. Motion is the lotion. So we're starting to warm that whole body up. Perfect. Now we're going to turn and come into a child's pose. So if you want to continue to use your blanket, you can. You would just open it up as wide as your mat, like so that you can take your knees wide and still have them. You do not have to. It's just personal preference. So you're going to come on to your blanket. Take your knees as wide as you need to for your baby. Bring your big toes to touch. Sit your hips back towards your heels and slowly start to walk your hands down. So this child's pose will visit in different variations throughout class, but this is an excellent posture to help to prepare you for childbirth. So this is a position that you would be in during a delivery. If you're choosing to not use any epidural or whatever, this is a good position to get in to push, or they'll have you squat. So just finding this comfort, opening up your inner thighs and your hips, finding this stretch is going to be an excellent way just to prepare your body. Stay here for one more breath, maybe letting your forehead come down to relax. And then slowly pushing yourself back on up. So walking your knees closer in. They might still be a little wider than your hips, depending on where you are with your pregnancy. The further along you get, obviously, the wider your stance will be. But taking your fingers, making sure that you have that alignment of your wrists under your shoulders, trying to walk your knees in so that they are below your hips. We're going to start with just some cats and cows. So on an inhale, lift your glutes, lift your throat, pull those shoulders back. And then exhale, hug baby up into your spine. Push the mat away, really opening up your upper back, your neck area. Inhale and open. Exhale, pull them back. One more. Inhale, rock it forward. We're opening up the front of our spine. Exhale, tucking baby into your spine, into your belly button, opening up your back body. Coming back towards neutral, tuck your toes under, sit your hips back onto your heels, doing a little bit of that foot stretch, stretching out the soles of your feet. And we'll take this opportunity to stretch out our wrists. So you can take your hands, interlace them in front of you, and just make some circles. Just circling them, providing some, once again, motion, lotion. And then switch it up, try to go the opposite way. I swear I can like pat my belly and rub my head or whatever that is, but like going backwards on this is requiring so much concentration. All right. And we're good. So making those circles a little bit wider, we're going to come back into that tabletop position. Staying in your tabletop, we're going to tuck the toes under and rise briefly into a down dog just to see how it feels. If you have any issues with, what's the word I'm looking for? With your esophagus, if you're having any reflux issues, that's the word, then don't join me in this. You just stay right here. You want to keep your head above your heart if you're having a lot of reflux or indigestion. But if you're fine, tuck those toes under, lift like someone's got a belt around your hips, keeping your knees bent as much as you need to. We were just kind of in this child's pose position on the floor, but now we've just tilted it up to a slant. And then slowly work out one heel at a time, just bicycling your feet out, feeling this amazing stretch down your calf muscles. preparing us for our next little series of floor moves. And then slowly bring your knees back down, untucking your toes. I want you to take your right foot and to extend it behind you, letting your toes rest on the mat, stretching back and forth. Once again, getting into that calf muscle. This is also involving your shoulders and your chest and your core just by holding this and rocking. And then engaging your right glute. Squeeze and lift your right leg up. Cross it over your left foot to the outside of your mat. And then walk your hands slightly over to the left, looking back at your right foot behind you. Feeling this stretch along your hip. And then slowly coming back, bringing your hands to neutral. Take your left foot off to the side. Extend your right foot long on the mat. Lifting your right arm up to the sky. We are in a side plank. So going back to opening those shoulders, I want you to sweep your right arm forward. And then exhale, let it sweep in front of you. 2 more times. Inhale, circle and sweep. Exhale, pulling it down. 1 more time. Circle it and sweep. Bringing it down. And then we're going to invite you to do 1 more level. If you're fine here, you can just stay right here for another breath. Or you can pick up your right foot, pull that right foot in towards your glutes. See if you can grab your right ankle and then push your knee away, maybe kick your foot away for a stretch along your whole right quad muscle, your hip flexor. If you cannot gain this access here, you can use a belt or any sort of strap to help you access that foot. And then slowly release your right foot, release your right arm back down to the mat. 1 little round of cat and cow here. So inhale, lift your throat, lift your glutes. Exhale, tuck your belly up into your spine, push the mat away, roll your chin down. And then coming back towards middle, we're going to go to the opposite side. So stick your left leg back. Your heel is kicking through a wall behind you. Drop your left toes down on the mat and slowly push back and forth, feeling the stretch in your toes. This is again, like I said, also engaging your whole core, arms, and shoulders. So it's a nice active pose to start with our class. Now squeezing up that left glute, lift your left leg up to the sky, cross it over to the right side. Walk your hands slightly over to the right and then peek back at your foot behind you, feeling the stretch across your hip. Deep breath in and then exhale, bringing your hands back towards neutral. Your left foot steps right behind your right. Kick your right foot off to the side for a little bit of stability. Inhale, lifting your left arm up to the sky. And we'll go for those 3 shoulder circles. So reaching forward, really take a deep inhale. Circle the left arm down. Inhale, forward and back. 1 more. Inhale, forward and back. And then if you want to go for the stretch on this side as well, you'd pick up your left foot, kick your glutes with your heels, grab that foot. First, pull the knee away from you, and then second, kick the foot away. 1 more inhale here. And then exhale, release. Left foot comes down to the blanket or your mat. Your left hand comes down. Tucking your toes under 1 more time. We're going to rise back up into that down dog. Again, if you have any issues like we were talking about, you will just walk your hands back, coming into a Malasana, and just hang out here for a second and we will meet you there. So coming back to your tabletop, tucking those toes under, lifting your hips, Coming into your down dog, stretching out the backs of your heels one at a time, feeling the stretch through your hamstrings, the back of your knees. And then step your feet a little bit wider, maybe as wide as your mat. Your heels come in, and walk your hands back, and we will join up in our Malasana Pose. So taking a moment in your Malasana, again, this is that birthing position. So your hips are wide, you're pulling your baby and your chest through. Actively engage your chest by pushing your elbows into your knees to really engage your upper back, your mid back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And then slowly bringing your hands down to the floor in front of you. Lift your hips off of your heels. Turn your toes forward. One at a time, bring your hands up to your knees. We like to come up really slow when we're pregnant just because of that blood pressure can be all over the place. And let the blood drain back down. And then slowly pushing down through your heels, squeeze yourself up to standing. And let's come to the front of our mat. So we're going to start with a little sun salutation series. Really gentle. Again, if you are breathless right now, if you need a glass of water, the luxury of this is you can just push pause and then join us back up. So please pause whenever you need to go into those issues. So coming to the front of your mat, your feet are hip distance apart. Let's be aware of our posture. We tend to really have that lordosis of the spine, this sway back because of baby and our breast tissue and everything. But I want you to think about rotating your pelvis under, pointing your tailbone down at the floor, opening your shoulders wide, making it so that you have your full diaphragm space to breathe. And calmly, let's just take a couple of breaths here. Take an inhale in. Exhale. One more. Inhale in. Exhale. Inhale. Circle your arms around and up to the sky. And exhale, taking your hands down through your midline. We've been here before. Slowly start to hinge at your hips, coming down halfway. Now I have put my blocks in front of my face. You can do the same. If you have one block, you can just use it here. If you have no blocks, just know where you are in space and try to stop yourself a little bit halfway so you're not straining your legs too much. And we are not locking out our legs. There is a gentle bend. So coming down into this forward fold, we're just going to sway side to side here, getting into our sciatica, opening up just a little bit, letting your head hang like it's a cherry on a stem. Don't try to hold it up. And then one more little sway, bending your knees as you sway from side to side. Coming back towards neutral. Engaging your hands on that block. Inhale and halfway lift. So you're acting like you're arching your back up, bringing your legs closer to straightness. And then exhale, forward fold, bending those knees as much as you need to. And then on an inhale, you're going to sweep your arms around and up to the sky. Coming very slow, exhale your hands down to your hips. Step your left foot into the middle of the mat. Take your right foot back. So you can leave that blanket down on the mat in case you do need to modify by bringing your knees down. So here we are in Warrior One. There's a bend in my left knee. It's going the same direction as my left toes. I'm trying to push this right leg as much to straightness, but I want my full right foot flat on the mat, particularly pushing into the pinky edge side. My hips, I'm trying to twist towards the front of my mat. So that's going to definitely shorten your stance. But try to get this alignment, releasing your arms down. Inhale, circling your arms around and up. Exhale, hands come around behind your back. We've been here before. Interlace your fingers, making that fist, letting the tips of your shoulders open up. You can look up towards the sky, and then exhale, humble warrior, just dropping down, bringing baby to the inside of that left thigh. Inhale, pulling yourself back up, releasing your fingers around and up to the sky. Hands come down to your hips, leaning into that left leg. Push yourself back up, bringing both feet side by side. Opposite side now. So inhale, circle your arms around and up. Exhale, hands come to your hips. Step your left leg back. Warrior one. So take a moment, find that alignment. Left leg, about a 45-degree angle behind you. Right foot and right knee are going in the same direction. Make sure your knee is not past your ankle. Inhale, circling your arms around and up in your warrior one. Exhale, your hands behind your back. Interlace those fingers, making that fist. Pull your shoulders back. Exhale, humble warrior. Bringing it on down, feeling the stretch in that right glute. And then slowly bringing your torso back up, releasing your hands around and up for balance. Hands come down to your hips, leaning into that right foot. Step your left foot up to join it. Release your hands down by your side. Inhale, circle your arms around and up. Hands come down to your hips. Step your right leg a lot farther back this time. So going slow, you're in a big high lunge. Release your hands down. Inhale your arms around and up for your crescent lunge. So both hips are facing forward. 10 toes are all going in the same direction. Exhale and slowly lower your right knee down to the mat. Bringing your hands to your hips. Inhale, lifting your chest up. Exhale, straightening out your left leg. Kicking your heel of that left foot really into the floor, feeling that stretch. Inhale, take the bend back into that left foot. Straighten out, lifting your right knee off of the floor. Lean into your left foot. Step it up towards the front of the mat. Releasing your hands back down for mountain pose. In your mountain pose, inhale, circling your arms around and up to the sky. Exhale, your hands to your hips. Step your opposite leg back. A lot further of a step. We're coming into that high lunge, preparing ourselves for our crescent lunge. Release your arms around to the floor. Inhale, circling your arms up to the sky. Exhale, slowly lowering that left knee down to the mat. Hands come onto that front knee. Inhale, pushing your leg away, stretching out the hip flexor of your left leg. And then exhale, straightening out your right leg, kicking your heel down into the floor, squeezing your glute back behind you, leaning forward. Feel this great, great stretch. And then put the bend back into your right knee. Lift your left knee off of the mat, leaning forward into your right leg. Step your back leg up to meet the front. Release your hands down by your side. One more little series here, getting into warrior two. So inhale, circling those arms around and up. Exhale, bringing your hands down to your hips. One more big step back like we just did. And then dropping that right heel down, extend your arms out. We are in warrior two. So if you'll notice the difference between warrior two and warrior one, my hips are open to the wide part of my mat. I still have my left knee and my left toe going in the same direction. Think consciously about pushing your left your left knee towards your pinky toe of that left foot. And my right foot is still down at that little angle. Extending your arms out to either side, sinking maybe another inch. Drop your right arm down. Inhale, reverse warrior, leaning back with your left arm. And then exhale, coming back through warrior two. Elbow comes down, sweeping your right arm down, coming into side angle. Lift that right arm up to the sky. Let your hips drip just a little bit more. Drip, drop a little bit closer down to your mat. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Bring yourself up to warrior two. Straighten out both of your legs. Heel toe in your back foot just a little bit. And then we're going to come into triangle pose. So bumping your right hips to the back of your mat, leaning forward with your left when you can't lean anymore. Drop your hands down. You can let them rest on your shin. If your block is close, you can rest your hand on your block. If you have the flexibility to come all the way down, go for it. Good for you, girl. But feel this stretch. Again, we're always opening up the hips and the thigh. Just trying to make those muscles really strong and yet supple to help you with your delivery and your recovery. Stay here for one more breath. Put the bend back into that left leg. Take your hand on, push yourself up. Turn your hips back to face the front of your mat. And we've been here before. Leaning into that left leg, fire up that glute to lift your back leg up. Bring your hands around and down. Last one here. Inhale, circling your arms around and up. Exhale, your hands to your hips. Step that left leg back. Big, huge step. And then drop your left heel down, opening up to warrior two on the opposite leg. So once again, check your alignment. Right thigh, right toes. You can see your toes. Open up that right knee towards the pinky. Your heels should be kicked out a little bit further than your toes. Sink down. You know how far you can go. So go to wherever you're comfortable with today. And then dropping that left arm down. Inhale, circle your right arm up and back. Coming into your reverse warrior. Inhale, coming back through warrior two, coming down into side angle. So your right elbow comes down to your knee. Sweep your left arm down and then peel it up to the sky, letting your hips drop a little bit closer down, feeling this stretch. And then slowly bringing yourself back up to warrior two. And then straightening out both legs. Heel toe in your feet just to get a little bit of a shorter stance. It's going to make triangle a little bit more accessible to you. And then with two straight legs, bump your hips to the back of your mat. Lean forward. When you cannot lean anymore, drop your hands, coming into your triangle pose. I loved this pose when I was pregnant, and it's still probably one of my faves. It just feels so good. Stay here for one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. And then putting the bend back in your right knee. Take your gaze, bring it back up to the front of your mat, following it with your hands. Your hands can come down to your hips for stability. Lean forward, leaning into that right foot. Engage those glutes to lift and bring your left foot up. You saw me wobble a little bit, and that's okay. All right, we're going to go into one more sciatic stretch here. So if you have your blocks, squat down and hold them. You can actually do this at the front of your mat. I'm just going to turn to face you so that you can see. But I want you to take your blocks, and with your hips wide, you can place them down on that mat in front of you. But you're going to take your right foot, step your left foot in front of it, and cross it. So you're pinky to pinky toe. And then from here, bend down to your blocks And just feel this stretch. So maybe you have to be up here with your blocks. Maybe you can come down lower. Maybe you don't need your blocks at all. But you're going to feel a big opening through your sciatic, through your IT band. And then we're going to cross right on into the other side. So take your right foot now, cross your left foot over it, pinky to pinky on this side, and try to relax on into it, feeling the stretch on that IT band, on opening up that sciatic nerve that can run down the back of your hips. Perfect. And then unwind. And we're going to come down to the mat. So coming down one knee at a time. Again, if you need any water or a break, just push pause. But coming into your tabletop position here, we're going to really get into those hips one more time. So taking your hands, walk them up so that you are kneeling. Take your right foot, step your right foot forward, and then take it off of the mat. So it's at a very open angle. And we're going to bring our hands back down to the mat again. If you want to keep your blocks, we're coming into lizard pose. So you can keep your blocks up like this. If you do not need your blocks, you can come down a little bit more. And just staying here for a moment, feeling the openness in the front of your left leg, in the glute of your right. I personally just kind of like to sway from side to side. This really helps me to find some more opening in this position. If you want to just remain still, by all means. And then coming back towards the middle, you're going to take your right foot, and I am crossing it across my mat, bringing my right knee down, and I'm coming into Pigeon Pose. So it's just a really intense hip stretch. Now, if this is too intense for you, and you'll know, I say pressure is good. We're stretching deep. This is a really tight pose for most people who sit particularly a lot. But if this is really tight for you, you can take one of those blocks and just place it right here underneath your glute, and that will take all of that pressure out of your knee. And then slowly see how much you can lower yourself down. So make sure you're being very aware of how much space you have for baby. Maybe you do need to be up on a block just to get your belly more off of the floor. It's going to depend on, again, everybody's different. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Slide that right leg back behind you. Maybe kick it out. Make some circles with those heels. Making circles with your ankles. Whatever feels good. Get that blood flowing back down there. And then bringing your right knee down. Walking back up onto your knees one more time. Stepping your left foot out, taking it wide, and coming down into that lizard pose on your other side. So your hands can come down. You can scoot that right knee back. You can stay here. You can sway from side to side. You can be up on your block. Whatever will help make this more accessible to you. And once again, these are all designed to help us with our delivery, with our recovery, to give us really strong legs and to have a lot more power and control. So rocking from side to side is what I like to do. I could say still for you so you could see what that looks like. All right. And now we're going to move into our pigeon pose. So taking that left foot, inching it across your mat, bringing that left knee down, scooting that right leg back. It's directly out behind you. Your hips are still evenly faced forward. If you need that block under your left glute to alleviate any pressure on that knee, please feel free to do that. And then you can slowly come on down to your comfort level. Pigeon is a beautiful, beautiful pose for helping us to just find that tension. A lot of times people would do this in class and afterwards they're like, I didn't know I was so tight there. So it's good to just explore and to see how this feels with your body. So in that same thought, just close your eyes and see how you feel. Are you holding your breath? Are you tight in your shoulders? Can you release anywhere and allow your body to sink into this pose? Perfect. And then we're going to slowly come on out of this. So once again, walking your hands back, pushing your left foot back behind you. You can take that block out, extending that left leg, making some circles with your heel, circles with your ankles, just inviting that blood flow back. And then walking your knees forward, we're going to come into a butterfly position. So just coming in to your butterfly, the soles of your feet meet. You can walk your heels as close into your pelvis as you can, or you can walk them out. I recommend trying both. See where you feel like you have more openness in your hips. And then taking your feet, try to open up your feet kind of like you're reading a book. Just giving some love to the balls of your feet, which are bringing the brunt of the baby gain. So just opening them up, feeling sorry for them, telling them you love them, begging them to please not grow anymore so that you can still fit into your shoes. I'm kidding. All right. And then from up here with your hips open, see if you can lean forward just a little bit. You can allow a curve in your back on this one. We're just kind of seeing what it feels like to drop our neck, to feel the stretch along your spine, those erector spinae muscles. Perfect. And then inhale and come on up. We are going to briefly come on down to the mat. We made it, guys. We're coming into our little Shavasana, but we're going to do one more birthing position. So coming on to our backs, I'm on my mic pack. This wasn't a great idea, but I'm going to follow through. On your backs, I know this isn't comfortable, but very briefly, take your knees in side by side. I'm not side by side. Knees come to your sides. Pull your knees back. Again, birthing position. This is probably one of the most common ones if you're in the hospital, because as soon as you get the epidural or anything, not that you have to, they want you on your back. So get used to pulling those knees in, because that helps to assist to shorten your birthing canal. And now enough talk about that. And then slowly bring your feet back down to the mat. Roll over to your left side. And we are going to come into our Shavasana. So if you have a blanket, you can put it between your knees. I loved sleeping with something between my knees and under my head. A snuggle, guys, was amazing, especially if you're pregnant and it's winter, because it's so warm. I told my husband if I had had a snuggle my whole life, I would have never gotten pregnant, because he could never get close enough to hug me because the snuggle was hugging me. And the snuggle is amazing because it goes under your shoulder and it can go around your belly and under your knees, so you can like rest your belly on it. Or if you're still really early in your pregnancy and you're just worried about sleeping on your back, you can put it so that it goes around your back, so it prevents you from slipping back. It's just a beautiful invention. 2 thumbs up for that guy or girl. But coming back down, got off track. In your Shavasana, we've opened up your legs. We've opened up our pelvis. We visited every style of birthing position that is recommended. I'm sure there's some other ones, but I haven't spent that much time on YouTube. I don't know. But in these last final moments, embrace your practice. Embrace this moment. Find gratitude in your heart, in your mind. And spending your last few moments, you can bring your hand down to your belly just to reconnect with your baby, reconnect, fixating your mind on that face, on those first words, on the color of that hair. And just finding as much joy as you can, releasing all that positivity in your body to just wrap around your body and to nurture them. Wrap around your baby and nurture them. I would love for you guys to stay here as long as you can, as long as your schedule permits. For those of you who are going to be going on with your day or with your night, I want to thank you for coming and for sharing your practice with me today. If you like this video, please hit like, please subscribe, leave any suggestions. I love feedback from people if there's any other things you want to see in class. But check back every Monday and there'll be a new class released for you. So going forth, let there be peace and love in your thoughts, peace and love in your words, and peace and love in your heart. From my heart to yours, and that one beating fiercely inside your chest. Namaste.